My work looks at how artificial intelligence or AI is growing fast across Africa in health, education, business, and government. But not everyone is benefiting equally. In many African countries, women are still left out of the digital world. Their data are missing from national records. Few women take part in AI policymaking, and many AI systems are built on biased information. This means that technology can sometimes make inequality worse instead of better. For example, in Egypt, women can be unfairly judged by AI credit or job systems that rely on incomplete or biased data.
My policy brief addresses a fundamental challenge in Guinea's digital transformation: the lack of interoperability across the public sector. Nowadays, ministries and agencies collect and store data in isolated systems that cannot communicate with each other. Data is often duplicated, incomplete, or manually transferred, which slows decision-making, weakens accountabilities, and limits the government's abilities to respond quickly to crises or deliver efficient public services.
My policy brief is titled Small Steps to Big Intelligence, a micro-transformations approach to AI governance within Nigeria's public sector institutions. And it's really built on the problem statement of the AI paradox. Government institutions in Nigeria and across the world are facing increasing pressures to adopt AI, to do so because of its value propositions for scaling productivity and allowing institutions to meet their mandates faster, quicker, and cheaper. However, these institutions are dealing with key constraints: infrastructure constraints, financial constraints, complex political ecosystems, and these constraints do not allow these institutions to adopt AI in a way that is scalable, ethical, and safe.
The central issue my policy brief addresses is the prevalent lack of inclusive finance for millions of Ethiopian smallholder farmers. Currently, the agricultural data necessary for lending, such as yield history for verified land titles, is fragmented and unusable as collateral. This creates high risks for financial institutions and actively blocks farmers from accessing the credit and insurance they need to grow and delay national development. Of course, the NAFIR goals.
My policy brief is on open data governance in Malawi. Malawi has made bold commitments to transparency and digital transformation through different policies and strategies, such as the Access to Information Act, the Digital Transformation Strategy, and the Malawi Agenda 2063. Yet a clear gap remains between policy intent and implementation. Government data is discarded across ministries, often locked in PDF reports or incompatible systems, limiting its reuse for our innovation or accountability. Without open and trustworthy data, public oversight weakens, corruption risk increases, and citizen trust erodes.
My policy brief looks at building a national health data commons powered by digital public goods. What do I mean by digital public goods? We are looking at open source tools like DHIS2. These open data sources have already proven that they save money, increase accountability, and improve patient care. So what is the problem that I'm seeking to address through my policy brief? I am tackling a critical challenge in Zimbabwe's health sector, which is the current fragmented, donor-driven digital systems that do not speak to each other and in the process undermine efficiency and weaken national digital sovereignty. Today, hospitals, clinics, and programs use multiple parallel systems. Some use DHIS2, some open MRS, some are actually using even paper records, and despite each holding valuable information, they are still trapped in silos. What is the result? It's duplication of cost, delays in terms of decision making, and data inaccuracies, which is also leading to limited service delivery for rural communities.
My policy brief is titled Repatriating East Africa's Data, Reclaiming Control for Sovereignty and Innovation. It is informed by the fact that there is external control over our data. And while our businesses, our citizens, and even our governments generate this data, it is often controlled, processed, and even monetized outside the region. And therefore, we are losing out on economic benefits, policy visibility, and even elements of national security. So, in essence, East Africa is providing the raw material while others extract the profits and strategic advantages, which mirrors our colonial histories.
This policy brief was developed as part of the Africa Data Future Fellowship, which focuses on building practical policy solutions for the digital future of Africa. Telecommunications are at the heart of Algeria's digital economy, generating vast data from over 51 million mobile users. While this data holds huge promise for AI innovation, without proper governance, it exposes citizens to risks like surveillance, misuse, and algorithmic bias. The problem is that Algeria's current data laws, like Law Number 1807 on personal data protection, aren't equipped to manage the complexities of AI. Authorities are under-resourced, making it difficult to oversee data practices or ensure transparency. This governance gap undermines trust in digital systems and leaves the country vulnerable to security threats.
Cameroon cities are expanding faster than data systems, women to manage them, and we have more than 30% of urban population only in 2 cities, Douala and Yaoundé. Yet decisions still rely on fragmented, outdated, and inaccessible data insight for urban planning to manage land, infrastructure, and services.
My policy paper suggests 3 main solutions. First, we need inclusive institutions. Governments should include women in AI policymaking and check how every new AI project affects gender equality. Second, we need better data. Countries must collect data that include both women and men and make sure AI systems are fair. Third, we need to build women's skills by supporting girls and women in AI education, digital literacy, and AI literacy.
My key policy recommendation is to build a national data backbone that places interoperability at the center of government operations. This backbone is based on 3 pillars. First, enforcing national data standards so that all institutions use compatible identifier, format, and metadata. Second, make fully operational. The Coloma National Data Center has the secure government data exchange hub where institutions connect through APIs rather than emails or manual files. And third, adopting a modern legal framework that defines how data should be shared, protected, and open in line with international best practices.
What does the policy brief recommend? It recommends adopting the micro-transformations approach and by extension the micro-transformations framework, which is a UN-recognized framework for digital governance. And what does it say? It simply says, start small and scale smartly. Design AI adoption projects and initiatives based on the context of your institutions and your environment. Take into consideration the constraints and the pressures you're facing, be it infrastructure, manpower, literacy, technology maturity, and build your AI ecosystem, your AI strategy, and your AI approach based on those realities.
For all of this, I recommend adopting the 4-pillar Agri-Data Governance Framework in its entirety. This is not just a technology fix, it's a complete governance ecosystem. First, legal, establishing a clear farmers' data ownership and consent, and officially recognizing verified agricultural data as an acceptable substitute for a traditional collateral. The second one is creating a joint Agri-Data Governance Council by ATI and NEB for unified strategic oversight and designing data stewards to enforce quality. The third, technical, the agri-stack, building a federated infrastructure with foundational assets like the farmer's profile, digital ID, which is FIDA, and verified farmland registry, linked by secure open API protocols to financial service providers like banks and micro loan service providers.
My paper makes 3 recommendations. The first one is to establish a National Open Data Coordination Unit under the Office of the President and Cabinet to enforce standards and monitor compliance. Second one is to operationalize the Data Protection Authority to balance openness with privacy and safeguard citizen rights. And the third one is to invest in infrastructure and data literacy by developing a unified open data portal and training civil servants and innovators to use data efficiently and effectively.
I am proposing that Zimbabwe establishes a national health data commons, which is a unified, interoperable health information exchange built on digital public goods, such as the open source platforms, shared standards, and national governance frameworks. This means integrating systems under one ministry-led architecture, investing in connectivity for rural clinics, building digital skills, and creating a health innovation hub to support local developers.
My core recommendation is the creation of binding East African Community Data Sovereignty Framework, which would harmonize the rules across the region, define data ownership and jurisdiction. And this would be supported by a shared infrastructure such as EAC-owned data centers, and even pilot a data embassy that would be modeled after Estonia. And in addition, it is key for us to come up with a trusted digital partner certification to regulate foreign cloud and donor-funded platforms that operate within the region, and also leverage international law in order to gain control of the physical layer, that is the undersea cables.
My policy recommendation is simple yet impactful. Treat telecom data as strategic national asset. This includes creating a national data classification system, establishing a governed sandbox for ethical AI testing, and boosting rule-making capacity for algorithmic audits. The reforms would also prioritize regional cooperation to align with African Union data initiatives.
This policy brief argues that effective data governance is essential for building inclusive resilience and well-planned cities. Drawing on evidence from Douala and Yaoundé, the brief highlights how fragmented data and land population flow and service delivery undermine municipal planning and service allocation. Key findings include data fragmentation undermine effective governance, and because multiple agencies collect overlapping and inconsistent data urban with little coordination. Inclusive data ecosystem awareness and accountability, citizen generate and civil society data can complement official statistics.
If we make AI more inclusive, we can create fairer jobs, stronger economies, and smarter innovation for everyone. Closing the gender gap in technology and AI can add billions to Africa's economy and help build a digital future that truly works for all.
What I hope this recommendation will achieve is a public transformation where interoperability is the norm, not the exception. This will allow ministry to share data in real time, improve the quality and speed of public decision, reduce inefficiencies and costs, open the door to innovation through accessible, high-value public data. Ultimately, it will help Guinea move toward a more transparent, responsive, and citizen-centered government.
The first and primary recommendation is to start small and scale smartly, identify high-impact use cases, low barriers to entry, and low risk that can leverage AI, and then build from there, particularly learning from the cycle of pilot, learn, and scale. And by extension, this allows institutions to not just adopt AI, but to create an ecosystem of digital governance and digital transformation that ensures success for the adoption of innovations within institutions.
The successful implementation of this four-pillar framework will achieve three major outcomes. The first one is de-risking agriculture. It transforms uncertainty into verifiable data, making agricultural lending transparent and secure for financial institutions. The second one is unlocking credit. It immediately provides millions of undeserved farmers with an accessible digital form of collateral, driving financial inclusion. The third one is national data sovereignty. The bigger picture. It guarantees the critical agricultural data is secured and governed within Ethiopia, reducing dependency and enforcing high standards.
These reforms will turn data into a drive of trust, innovation, and inclusive growth. And by publishing high-value data sets like budgets, contracts, and company registers, Malawi can strengthen oversight, reduce corruption, and support evidence-based policy making.
A health data commons will 1. Reduce costs by eliminating duplicated systems. 2. Strengthen accountability and transparency. 3. Improve patient care through real-time data for decisions. Number 4, empower local innovations. And finally, it will advance digital sovereignty so that Zimbabweans own and govern its health infrastructure. This will ultimately ensure that every citizen from Harare to Binga receives equitable data, supported data through quality health care.
I hope that if adopted, these recommendations would be able to allow East Africa to regain control over its most strategic digital asset, which is data.
Through these reforms, I hope to achieve an ethical AI adoption that balances innovation with citizen protection. This will build public trust, keep digital independence, and drive AI investment, positioning AI Algeria as a leader in the region.
To move forward, we propose some reform. The first is to develop a national urban data governance framework. The second, to establish a level urban data observatory for real-time panel spatial service data, integrate community-generated data to formal urban data set, and pilot open urban data platform in Douala and Yaoundé. Institutionalize interoperability and open data standard across ministry and municipality.
The Africa's Data Future Fellowship has been an amazing experience for me. It helped me turn research into real policy ideas and connect with others who care about data, equality, and Africa's digital growth. I believe that when women are part of designing AI, Africa's future will not only be digital but also fair, inclusive, and full of different opportunities.
Reflecting on the fellowship, the experience has been extremely enriching. It reinforced my understanding of data governance, digital public infrastructure, and the practical dimensions of interoperability in Africa and the world. The mentoring sessions and exchanges with other fellows extended my perspective and helped refine the policy solution in my brief. Overall, the fellowship has equipped me with valuable tools to translate complex problems into actionable reform that can significantly support national digital transformation efforts.
I'm very grateful to the African Data Futures Fellowship Program for allowing us to engage with experts from across the globe and across several domain expertise, and allow us to be able to focus our ideas and our passions into solutions that actually address systemic problems and challenges within our environments, our countries, and that can be reproduced across the globe. Thank you very much.
The insights gained through the African Data Fellowship were essential in shaping this holistic, interconnected strategy, allowing me to synthesize data governance principles with on-the-ground economic realities. This policy is a direct output of the valuable experience of my fellowship stay with other fellows from the continent and the entire online classes that I have actually gained from the fellowship program. Thank you so much.
This fellowship has been transformative. It has deepened my understanding of how policy must bridge between theory and practice, and lessons from Kenya, South Africa, and Zambia showed that political will, coordination, and citizen-centered designs are key to success. Most importantly, I've learned that progress lies not in drafting new policies, but making the existing ones work. Thank you for the opportunity to contribute to Malawi digital transformation journey.
This fellowship certainly has transformed my perspectives, challenged my assumptions, expanded my continental perspectives, and strengthened my ability to translate research into actionable policy. The mentorship, the peer exchanges, and the rigorous feedback refined my thinking on digital public goods, sovereignty, and Africa's innovation future. This experience has deepened my commitment to advancing African-led digital transformation rooted in equity, openness, and public value. I thank you.
This fellowship has been an amazing opportunity for me. It has opened my mind in terms of data governance within the continent. It has offered me excellent mentorship with great people. I have been able to interact with my peers across Africa, and I am so grateful to have been part of this. Thank you.
The fellowship has deepened my understanding of how digital governance can drive economic transformation. It's shown me that sound policy frameworks are essential for building a future where technology serves people, not just profit. In conclusion, by reforming telecom data governance, Algeria can lead in ethical AI adoption, ensure digital independence, and set a regional example. Thank you.
We intend to capitalize on this fellowship to further promote data governance in Africa in general and in Cameroon particularly.